Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your buddy Anime Alba here, coming at you with part 13 of What If Naruto's Like Minato. And listen, so shout out to Peppermental Z and Gaming Channel for getting the little secret thing, reading thing in the, like, I don't know, bro, for like getting the secret reading thing. And yeah, so basically this is going to be chapter 13. I'm going to record this and hopefully a couple of the videos. First and foremost, wanted to apologize for not posting over the last 3 days. I've been pretty busy doing things at my house, trying to I think I messaged somebody. I heard Noah about it. And yeah, basically just been looking for a job and dealing with schoolwork and things of that nature. So yeah, it's been pretty busy in my house. What about you? Let me know down in the comment section below. What's good with y'all? Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And I look for all comments, and I heart all comments, and I like all comments. And I try my damnness to respond to all of them as well. So yeah. I think that's about it. With that out of the way, let's get right on into the video, okay? As soon as the siblings left Naruto's body, Naruto bowed a hasty goodbye to Konohamaru and Shunsui out of there, straight to the training ground 6. That team, he noted, doesn't train much, so they wouldn't mind him using their training ground. As he created a few shadow clones for sparring, Kurama briefly brought him into his mindscape. Naruto, do you know why that boy felt so familiar to you? He asked, tail swaying behind him as he looked at Naruto. Naruto folded his arms. Good to know that it wasn't just me then. I believe that he's another Jinchuriki. Kurama nodded. Exactly, be on your guard. His Biju is dangerous, and because of who is inside him, it's possible that boy is completely mad. Naruto tilted his head. It's not every day that the Nine-Tails Fox says someone is powerful. Just who's inside him, Kurama? The one-tailed raccoon, Shukaku. He's the weakest of the tailed beasts and batshit insane, he said with a serious face, at which Naruto would have laughed if not for the fact that he realized that another Jinchuriki is roaming unchecked in Konoha. Jinchuriki, according to the stuff he has read up until now, are usually sent into other villages so they can burn or crush it to the ground. And he didn't see any person with guard. Oh my lord, what the fuck? Sorry, there's some noise in the background, bro. Someone calling my name. What am I about to say? Damn, where did I go? Okay, yeah. And he didn't see any person with Gaara who was in charge of him. Kankuro and Tamari certainly couldn't control him, evidenced by how afraid they were of him. Kurama continued, You notice the black rings around his eyes. It means he hasn't slept in years, Naruto. Naruto went wide-eyed at that. What the hell? Kurama nodded in complete seriousness. Suna doesn't have any great seal masters, so the seal on the Jinchuriki is quite loose compared to yours. If the host falls asleep, Shukaku will take control and come out. Best be on your guard, because he's already got you in his sights, no doubt from sensing my presence within you. Naruto agreed. Thanks for the warning, Kurama. I'll keep that in mind. With that, he exited his mindscape and focused on the defending exercise. As he blocked and dodged every strike from his clones, he had hoped that Kakashi would enter them into the training exams. Then another thought came to his mind, more specifically a person. He smiled wistfully as he punched a clone in the ribs, dispelling it. He had never seen such a beautiful girl before. Then again, there weren't many girls of his age in Konoha, and Ino and Sakura didn't count. He knew from the day he saw them that he wouldn't be liking them anytime soon. Tamari was different, however, and in a good way. Her looks were quite exotic, especially her eyes. He'd never seen eyes of that color and had to admit it was quite easy getting lost in them for him. He knew from his observations that his own eye color was one of a kind in all of Konoha. Her being a blonde like him was only a plus point in from the eyes. From what he had observed, it could tell she and the two other shinobi were siblings, with Tamari being the oldest. It was pretty easy to reach that conclusion. Tamari and Gaara shared the same eyes and facial shape, but Tamari shared the shape of her eyes with Kankuro, not to mention the way she acted with him. Very much like an older sister who was used to bashing her brother's head, but didn't because they were in public. And that smirk on Okami. He could say with full certainty that it was the sexiest smirk he had ever seen among the girls of his age, which was quite ironic seeing he created the sexy jutsu. Her smile was not far behind, though it could easily beat her smirk when coupled with her pretty blush that came over her face when she was looking at him. He could not wait to see her again. Wow, that was very descriptive. Whew. Alright, I digress and let's continue. Team 7 was standing on the bridge and as usual waiting for their tardy mess of a sensei. It had almost been 3 hours with Sakura finally cracked. With a scream of frustration that no doubt scared the birds. Resting a mile away, she ranted, where does Kakashi Sensei always make us? Wait, when he's the only one that calls us. She began ranting about how she had woken up late and hadn't had the chance to blow dry her hair. Naruto and Sasuke glanced at each other, sharing a look of shared suffering. While Naruto had just turned up 20 minutes ago, he still couldn't bear Sakura's incessant nonsense. Why the hell does she have to be so damn loud every time? Was the thought that went through the boys' heads. Naruto finally sensed Kakashi's presence heading their way and straightened up. Sasuke, who had learned to read Naruto's body language, after a while, straightened up as well, knowing that his teammate had sensed someone coming their way. True enough, there was a puff of smoke, which turned out to be Kakashi. Waving a hand at them, he had the nerve to cheerfully excuse himself. Jesus Christ. He had the nerve to cheerfully excuse himself. Where is this? Hello there. I got lost on the road of life today. There you go. Only someone like you could get lost on a one-way road. Naruto grumbled, hands in the pockets and giving Kakashi a deadpan look. I'll pretend you didn't say that and get to the point. He held up 3 application tickets. I nominated you 3 for the Chunin exams. You are not forced to take it, however. You have a choice whether to take part in it or not. How he managed to say in his ever-lazy tone of voice still sounded serious was beyond Naruto's understanding. He must be an innate talent he used. Though if you do decide to take them, go to the academy in 6 days at 3 in the afternoon, room 301, he added. They were dismissed after that. Naruto suggested that they get lunch together, after which they could go their separate ways and train. While they were walking to Ichiraku ramen, Naruto noticed that Sakura looked quite uncertain while matched with the feeling of her chakra. Something bothering you, Sakura? Sakura blinked to look at Naruto, a nervous smile on her face. No, Naruto, everything's fine. Sasuke noticed it too, her behavior, but kept quiet. As long as she was ready for the Chunin exams, it was fine. Naruto, on the other hand, had doubts. He knew the Chunin exams were no joke. Ninjas from all villages participated, and at times, death happened. He would be scared too if he didn't train his ass off every day. Hope this exam teaches you a lesson, Sakura. The world of shinobi's not a place for a fangirl, he grimly thought to himself. They went into the bar and were greeted by Teiuchi with a warm grin. Oh, Naruto and his team, come have a seat. Naruto grinned. Old man Teiuchi never failed to bring a smile on his face. His amusement grew when he heard Sakura mutter, stop saying it like he's the leader of this team. As they sat down on the stools, Teiuchi asked for the orders. Naruto, who was the first to speak, I'll have 2 miso ramen, please. Sakura spoke next. 1 toringi ramen, please. Yeah, that's a weird-ass ramen. Sasuke was last. I'll have a tonkatsu ramen, thank you. Naruto envied the way Sasuke ordered his food. The arrogance came so natural to him. Naruto wished that he could do it as well. He turned to Sakura, who looked worried about something. Come to think of it, she'd been very strange ever since the topic of the Chunin exams came up. It's not that strange for weaklings to feel this way when they're faced with the unknown. Kurama offered his view. Naruto rolled his eyes and ignored the comment, though he didn't deny it either. So he decided to talk to her. Speaking in a low tone, he asked, Sakura, how do you feel about the Chunin exams? She was startled when he suddenly spoke to her. Calming down herself, she was about to tell him to mind his own business when she met his eyes, so full of sincerity, and he seemed to genuinely want to listen to her. She hesitated, not sure of how she should say it. It's kind of scary, you know. Right now, I know I'm not ready, but when will I know that I am? Her thoughts were very much jumbled up right now to be phrased properly. Naruto said nothing until their order came. He separated his sticks as he waited for it to cool a bit. He spoke. I won't sugarcoat my words, Sakura, but you haven't trained seriously since the academy, and even then you probably did the bare minimum of what the instructors told you to do, didn't you? Her silence and shameful expression told him that his deduction was spot on. A side glance also told him that Sasuke was eating his food, quietly, not paying any attention to them. But that did not fool Naruto, who smirked when he observed Sasuke's body was tilted towards their side. He continued, ever since the academy, and even after when our team was formed, you kept neglecting your training in favor of pining after Sasuke, even going on a diet in the process. He didn't stop eating his food at all, looking as if he was talking about the weather. Sakura felt like she wanted to find a hole and climb in it and never come out. She wanted so badly to tell Naruto to shut up, but the bitter truth in his words stopped her from doing it. She'd be lying to herself that she did not know what Naruto was talking about. Dang it, I just lost my part. Where am I? Oh, there we go. Alright. Naruto kept a careful eye on the pink-haired girl. Now that she had seen her situation laid bare in front of her, instead of being buried deep inside her mind, it was time to let her know the consequences. Now look at yourself. You don't have the physique required for a strong kunoichi. Your neglect of training means you have no grasp of basic skills to improve further upon them. Your weapon throwing is mediocre at best. All you have is excellent chakra control, but let's face it, you aren't the only one who does. Kakashi Sensei said that you're a genjutsu type, but you don't know any genjutsu, nor can you dispel one, as proven in the bell test. In short, one hit is all that anyone needs to take you out. He finished his meal and was now looking straight at her. He won't stop now. Sakura needed to hear this. It was time she faced the facts. Sakura was barely keeping from bursting out in tears. Everything Naruto said was true, and while she hated to admit it, the fact was he made her sound pathetic. Ever since the academy, she had only increased her efforts in trying to impress Sasuke instead of bettering herself. She had repeatedly told herself that Sasuke would save her whenever she would be in danger. Her being with Sasuke on the same team only reinforced that belief. But in the C rank, what the hell? But in the C rank turned A rank, she felt for the first time that she was the only one who was utterly useless on the team. What was worse, she did not do anything to change it after returning. Still hoping to get together with Sasuke. One hit? Am I really that pathetic and useless? She knew the answer to that question. While she did have some natural strength, it was useless to her if she didn't know how to use it. And Sasuke and Naruto were strong too. But what made them strong, that they had the strength to take a hit and get back up, only to dish it back with even greater ferocity. Sakura could dish it out, and even that was questionable, but couldn't take the punishment. She couldn't take a punch to her gut and have the strength to get up. Naruto had been quietly watching Sakura, and he had to say, the girl looked just one more truth away from bursting into tears. While while Sakura was wallowing in guilt, quietly motioned Sasuke to leave. The dark-haired boy had looked outraged that Naruto was waving him away like a servant who had almost tore into him when he saw the seriousness and somber look in his eyes. Naruto had mouthed to him that Sakura would be heartbroken if she were to learn that Sasuke saw her in her moment of weakness. So he quietly finished his food and went outside, leaning against the wall and waiting for them. Now that the tough part of learning about the consequences was over, it was time for some motivation. He changed the topic of the conversation. Idly spinning the chopsticks between his fingers, he said, I saw Team 10 the other day. He quietly cheered when he saw the tiny spark of interest in her eyes. On Team 10 was Sakura's rival Ino. Oh? Yeah, and Ino challenged me to a spar. Can you believe that? He gave an amused shake of the head. Sakura, too, gave a small chuckle at that. Ino had no chance of defeating Naruto, when Sasuke had trouble just trying to match him. She was a bit less pathetic than you, but pathetic all the same. Isn't she your rival, Sakura? By now, she found it easier to concentrate on the conversation than her guilt. Yeah, she is. Naruto adopted a look of confusion. Then why are you not trying to beat her? You don't want to lose to Sasuke. You don't want to lose Sasuke to her, do you? That did catch her attention because her eyes now held a little panic. What do you mean losing Sasuke? Naruto debated whether to tell her or not. This was the true key of motivating a person with a rival. Bring a common goal in between them. Ino and Sakura were still competing for Sasuke's attention, which was the perfect way for him to take advantage and motivate her. He fully turned to her to face her. You might not know this, but Sasuke is the last Uchiha alive who's still loyal to Konoha, and as such, he has to repopulate his clan, you know? What that means, right? He gave her a pointed look. A dark blush came over his face, but she nodded. She couldn't believe how Naruto could talk about it without feeling the least bit awkward. She didn't know that he did, but he just hid his awkwardness better than others. Naruto continued. To do it, he'll need strong. Jesus Christ, bro, I just choked on my throat. What the hell was that? To do it, he'll need strong women in the future. It all comes down to this. If you don't get strong enough, he'll pick Ino over you, and you'll be left behind. The desired effect was achieved when he saw fire lit up in her eyes. Yep, she definitely couldn't stand losing to Ino. Oh, he almost forgot. One more thing. To answer your question, you won't. There's no one to tell you that you're ready. It's a leap of faith. He got up and put some money on the counter. That's all it is, Sakura, a leap of faith. He softly finished. Just before he left, he saw something he had definitely not seen in her eyes ever. Fierce determination. Ooh, baby. Unknown to the team, Ayame and Teiuchi were quietly listening in on their conversation. By the end, Ayame looked amazed at the way Naruto had successfully managed to motivate her. He was born to be a leader. I know it, she thought with a smile. Teiuchi was smiling like he was the proudest man in the world. He had been attending to Naruto for years, and he always knew that Naruto was destined for great things. After witnessing firsthand Naruto's motivational speech, it only reinforced what he already knew. Naruto will become the greatest Hokage this village has ever seen. Walking out, he immediately silenced Sasuke, who had opened his mouth. No doubt to rant about him for bringing him into this, and motioned him to follow him. They jumped onto the opposite rooftop and crashed. What are we waiting for? Sasuke whispered. Just watch, Naruto said, pointing to the ramen bar. A few moments later, Sakura walked out, and Sasuke could definitely see she was different. Her fangirl was still visible in her eyes, but now was overshadowed by a fierce look of determination. He watched, amazed that she did not seem to look for him, instead turning around and heading towards the training grounds. He turned to the blonde comrade, who was watching Sakura go away with a smile and no small amount of self-satisfaction. What did you do? Hell, even his voice was filled with stupefaction. Stupefaction. Yeah. Stupefaction? What the fuck? No, stupefaction. Naruto gave an innocent shrug, the smile still on his face. Nothing, just pointed her in the right direction of success. He left after that, leaving a speechless Sasuke behind. Naruto was just roaming. This is like a little skip. Every time you see the X's, it means a little skip. Give me a sec, though. Let me get some water, please. How long is this video? 17 minutes, that's it. This one's going to be a half-hour one. We're going to make it a 13.5. You feel me? Because I can. Yeah. We're going to make a bunch of parts. Because the hour-long videos take too long. I can do a half hour, though. But I'm just going to make a bunch of... Today I have time, but I'm just going to make a bunch of parts and just, be able to drop them and release them consistently. So, yeah. We're going to go 30, 35 minutes. We're going to stop the video. We're going to make it 13.5. We're going to go 30, 35 minutes. Finish the chapter out. Boom. Keep doing that. That's going to be the pattern. I'll probably post 2 of this today. Today. Maybe, I don't know. It's debatable. It could happen, it could not happen. It really just depends on how I feel. I digress, and let's continue, okay? Naruto was just roaming around the training grounds. Having finished his training 15 minutes ago, he felt really good after motivating Sakura to become stronger today. Just as he was turning to leave, he sensed it. 3 chakra signatures 200 meters away. One was average, other a bit above average, and the last, which was faintly familiar, only a bit above a civilian's. He had already sent a few clones home to prepare dinner, and since there was still time, why not train his stealth skills a bit? He jogged on his toes, cautious to not make any sound. He was just 50 meters away when he stopped and made a half ram seal. A puff of smoke later, a small light brown fox was standing in his place. Lowering his chakra signature by a significant margin, he moved forward. This should allow me to get close, he thought as he hid 2 trees away from the chakra signatures. You heard? The upcoming tuning exams will have rookies for the first time in 5 years. The fox narrowed his eyes. I know that voice. It's Rock Lee, the kid I met during one of the morning rounds. No way. The Jonis must try to look good. Another voice joined in. Oh, fuck. That's Neji's voice. Fuck. No way. The Jonis must be trying to look good. Another voice joined in. This one held confidence bordering on overconfidence. Lee spoke again. 3 of them are from Kakashi's unit as well, you know. The last voice finally spoke, but unlike the previous 2, this held a sort of arrogance not unlike Sasuke's. That's interesting. Oh, fuck! What is this, bro? Yo, that's not Rock Lee, that's Tenten! That's Tenten! Fuck, this was Neji's voice. Dude, they don't have the names for it, okay? I'm just guessing here. Okay, don't get mad at me. That's interesting. Either way, the girl spoke, who Naruto finally identified as Tenten from the Higurashi weapon shop. That's quite pitiful for them. The arrogant voice spoke as if he already knew who was going to win. Naruto decided that was enough and turned to go back, but he cursed when he stepped on a twig. Could not even sense, since he would be molding chakra and alerting them was the last thing he wanted to do. Don't worry, the arrogant one spoke. It's just a fox. Naruto inwardly sighed in relief and ran away and did not turn back into himself until he was out of the training grounds. The thought didn't cross his mind that how he didn't know that it was only fox. The thought didn't cross his mind. How did he know that it was only a fox? One thing's for sure. These tuning exams will definitely be interesting. Oh, how did he know it was a fox? Yeah, because, fucking, Jesus, man. Yo, my mind is on a wreck right now. Because Neji has the Byakugan, which can see 360 degrees. Yeah, I forgot. Well, I didn't forget, but that was the point that they were trying to make there, you feel me? Okay, alright, we're good. 6 days passed, and it was the day of the Chunin exams. Sasuke and Naruto had arrived at the academy, and Naruto could tell Sasuke was fired up like anything. The only one left to arrive was Sakura. They were simply waiting outside the gates when Sakura arrived, and there was something visibly different about her. She looked like usual, but her posture had a confidence that both of them hadn't seen before. Naruto looked into her eyes and smiled at what he saw. Resolve. Resolve to see this through, and she didn't look the least bit uncertain. Good morning, Naruto. Sasuke-kun, she greeted. Sasuke, for his part, hid his surprise just barely. Whenever she greeted him, she did like a fangirl. Now she looked like a determined kunoichi. Good morning, Sakura. Naruto greeted with a nod. Sasuke just gave his customary grunt. Let's stop wasting time in greetings and go, he ordered curtly, striding inside without even waiting for them. Sakura gave an amused look to Naruto, who just shrugged in a way that said, what can you do? They caught up to him and ascended the stairs. Silently and focused, the sound of the crowd caught their attention, and they wanted to investigate. Upon arriving at the scene, they stared in surprise at the large crowd. What the hell is going on? Then Naruto sensed the genjutsu over the whole corridor and narrowed his eyes. In front of them were 2 guards who looked suspiciously familiar. Naruto narrowed his eyes at them, and it suddenly came to him, causing him to resist a facepalm. Who were Izumo and Kotetsu trying to fool with this obvious genjutsu? Sasuke nudged Sakura. This is only the 2nd floor, isn't it? Sakura looked at him in surprise. Sasuke never, ever talked to her so actively. She looked at Naruto to give a thumbs up. She turned to Sasuke and spoke confidently. Hi, since we've only climbed 2 floors, it's obviously a genjutsu. Sasuke then nodded to himself and started to walk to the crowd, but mostly to show off by proclaiming that a genjutsu of this caliber does not fool him. But a hand on his shoulder caused him to turn around and glare at Naruto, who was shaking his head. The people over there still haven't noticed that they're just on the 2nd floor, he said softly. This is probably a test designed to weed out the weaklings, so let's just slip by nice and quiet, he suggested. Sasuke found that this was becoming quite frequent to him. Him going off to do something, Naruto stopping and giving him suggestions, Sasuke agreeing, albeit begrudgingly, that the suggestion was better and following Naruto. Even now, Naruto's suggestion was strategically better. Reducing the competition meant that their chance of winning was higher. To be completely honest, Sasuke was jealous of Naruto. He was jealous of his strengths, his skill, his natural charisma, the way that leadership seemed to fit with him like a glove, how it came to him so naturally. Obviously, his own desire to be at the top and be the leader clashed with Naruto's. He could not stand to remain the 2nd best, especially to Naruto of all people. Clenching his fist in his pockets, he nodded, and as one quietly slipped through the crowd and took to the stairs of the 3rd floor. As they were heading to the 301, a voice came from above them. Hey, you, the one with the dark eyes, please wait. They all turned to look up to see a kid wearing a tight green jumpsuit and orange leg warmers. His black hair had a bowl-cut style, and he had amazingly thick eyebrows. He was looking at Sasuke. Naruto rose an eyebrow at him. What is Lee playing at? Lee jumped down to their level, and it was only then that he recognized Naruto. He gave off a blinding grin. Naruto-kun, what a beautiful surprise to see you here. I love Lee, bro. Lee's my favorite. Lee's one of my favorites. I like Shikamaru, too. I digress. Let's continue. Sakura and Sasuke gave Naruto mildly horrified looks. They didn't know that Naruto knew this weirdo. Jesus Christ, bro, I can't speak. As for Naruto, he took a page from Kakashi's book and gave a lazy wave in a lazy voice. Yo, it turned out to be the wrong thing to say, as Lee cried out while shaking a fist. What a hip and cool attitude! Your flames of youth seem to have diminished since the last time we met. Naruto shrugged and decided to intervene in case Lee takes off on a tangent. So, Lee, why'd you stop us? Lee suddenly sobered up and turned to Sasuke. Sorry, I got distracted. My name is Rock Lee, and I wish to challenge this year's prodigy, Uchiha Sasuke, to a fight. Sasuke replied back coldly, and why should I give you the time? He gave a once-over and found him lacking any sort of strength whatsoever. He, however, didn't like the way Lee called him a prodigy. A prodigy should stand out of the crowd, and the title felt cheap because Naruto was stronger than him. Lee smiled. I am the strongest Konoha getting right now, and to test myself and to see if you're as good as everyone says you are. Sasuke smirked, causing Naruto to sign resignation. Just a mention of a fight was enough to get Sasuke's blood pumping. 10 minutes later, he found himself looking at a beat-up Sasuke and wondering if it was a mistake or did Sasuke deliberately underestimate Lee. Judging from the appearance, Lee was nothing special. But apparently, Sasuke had never heard the phrase, appearances can be deceiving. Lee had absolutely dominated the fight, even when Sasuke had activated his Sharingan. All throughout the fight, Sasuke had been trying to just find Lee because he was unbelievably fast. And of course, Naruto had easily followed Lee's movements because he himself had surpassed that speed with resistance seals activated at level 11 long ago. He closely observed that even when Sasuke had just begun to react fast enough, he was smashed by Lee's superior taijutsu skills and pure speed. Just when Lee was about to end the fight, it was ended by a talking turtle of all people. Lee, that technique is forbidden, he yelled at him. Lee bowed his head in apology. I'm sorry, I got carried away. The turtle glared at Lee, causing him to flinch. But I wasn't planning to use the reverse version. Baka, the turtle exclaimed, causing Lee to flinch again. You think that excuse will work? You should know what it means for a shinobi to expose his move. While the turtle was busy reprimanding Lee, Naruto glanced over to see if Sasuke was alright, but wished he hadn't. Sasuke had a look of absolute loathing on his face as he glared at Lee at the turtle. I lost to that weirdo. He looked over to Sakura and saw that she was still shocked at the pure speed that Lee displayed. He looked over at Naruto and he resisted the urge to roar in rage. Naruto was looking bored, just as he was before the fight. There was not a single trace of alarm or fear that Sasuke could see, which only meant one thing. Naruto was certain, absolutely confident that he could take on Lee and win. Just how strong is he? He doesn't look alarmed in the least. That means he knows he's stronger and faster than that weirdo. He knows that he could counter Lee at every move, whereas I couldn't even follow the guy. Is Naruto even in the same league as the rest of the Genin? How can I, with the Sharingan, still not match up to him? Were the thoughts rushing through his head. He hated being weaker than everyone. He turned his attention back to the turtle, who said, Guy Sensei, will you take care of your punishment? An explosion of smoke erupted on the turtle's back when it cleared. An adult version of Rock Lee was seen standing in a ridiculous pose. Jeez, guys. Jeez, you guys are the epitome of the springtime of youth. To say Team 7 was freaked out was an understatement. They were shell-shocked at his appearance. Even Naruto was looking a bit alarmed, with Kurama screaming in his mind to make it stop. If Lee was just a few years older, no one would be able to tell the difference between him and Guy. Lee, you fool! Guy shouted at him, punching him in the jaw so hard that Lee flew back. Lee quickly recovered. Guy then proclaimed, For breaking the rules and fighting before the exams, you must complete 500 laps around Konoha before sundown. The whole Team 7 gaped at the absurdity of the challenge, believing it to be nothing more than a joke. However, they were further shocked into Lee in disbelief at Lee's reply. Hi, Guy Sensei! Lee's eyes were burning at the challenge, probably at how youthful it was, Naruto mused. Naruto decided to intervene before even more weirdness took place. Excuse me, but don't you guys think that you should focus on the tuning exams right now? Guy Sensei turned to them for the first time, looking a bit sheepish. Oh, my bad. Turning to Lee, he thought, and coughed in his hand and said, Lee, you will fulfill your... Fuck, I can't speak. You will fulfill your punishment after the tuning exams. Got it? Lee stood at attention. Hi, Guy Sensei. Guy then turned to the other team. Oh, so you guys are Kakashi's team. Sasuke rose an eyebrow condescendingly. You know Kakashi? Guy chuckled and rubbed his chin. Kakashi and I are eternal rivals. I am leading currently with my 50 wins to Kakashi's 49. The whole team's 7 sweat dropped at that. Lee jumped in. Isn't Guy Sensei the greatest? Sasuke was studying Guy intensely, looking at the empty space. Wait, what? He and Sakura suddenly turned around to face Guy, who had gotten behind them so fast that not even a blur was visible. But Naruto showed no sign of surprise, having followed him with his eyes. Guy was only using low Jonin level speed right now. He knew that Guy had barely put effort in getting that fast to get behind them. Well, he could do it as well if he took his seals off for now. He would be destroyed in a contest of speed if Guy went full speed. Guy is too motherfucking strong, cuz. Guy is too strong. He's too strong. Guy Sensei. Guy Sensei. Oh, I love Guy Sensei and Lee. I love their little, they're fucking like, what, bro, they're just like, they're cool. I like them. They're funny. They make me laugh. Every time I see them when they go, Lee, Guy Sensei, Lee, Guy Sensei. That shit make me laugh every time. Here, wait, let me see this. Oh, 30 minutes in, bro. Alright, I'll go till the next set of X's, and then at that, we're done for this video. Alright, let's go. Where we at? Where the fuck are we at? There was only so much speed his 12-year-old body could go before reaching the limit. Sasuke was looking at Guy with wide eyes, along with Sakura. This guy, he's definitely faster than Kakashi, he thought with a grimace. Rage filled him once more. Damn it! How many people are there that I have to surpass to become capable of defeating him? Anyways, you guys should head to the room. Your exam is going to begin soon. Good luck. Turning to Lee, he flashed a grin and a thumbs up. Do your best, Lee. Bask in the springtime of youth. He disappeared after that. Lee began to wrap his bandages up just before he left. He turned to Sasuke. Sasuke-kun, I apologize for lying before. I am not the strongest Konoha Genin. It is my teammate. I entered this exam to defeat him, and you are one of my targets as well. Prepare yourself. I wish you all the best. After Lee finally walked away, Naruto carefully observed Sasuke. His fists were clenched tight along with gritted teeth and a look of frustration and rage on his face. Naruto clenched his own fist and raged in his mind. Who does he think he is? Why does he keep thinking that he's the only one who's strong and the rest of us are weak? He kept his face carefully neutral as he faced Sasuke. What's wrong, Sasuke-kun? He was careful to keep his voice level. He didn't even flinch when Sasuke faced him, a look of barely contained rage on his face. Shut up, I'll slaughter him next time, he promised Naruto. Naruto only rose an eyebrow. We are in the middle of an exam, which means there's a little time. Sorry, no time for you to get better than him. Maybe after the exams, but not now. Why are you so angry and frustrated for? Is it hard for you to accept that there are people of our age who are stronger and faster than you? Sasuke opened his mouth to tell Naruto to mind his own business, but nothing came out. He realized with a growl that what Naruto had said was true. He was brought up with the teachings from his father that the Uchihas are the greatest, and he learned it all with pride. So it was hard for his pride to accept that there's someone who's stronger, faster than him. Ever since the massacre, he trained his hardest every day, trying to bridge the power gap between him, just so he could get his revenge. He thought that he had at least become stronger than his peers, only to find out how thoroughly outclassed he was among those of his age. Naruto shook his head. One day, Sasuke's superiority complex was going to blow up in his face. Sasuke was too proud of himself, believing his power was better than others, and no one could match him. But pride always had its downfall, and it didn't look like Sasuke is going to learn the lesson anytime soon. Anyway, we should get going. We're going to be late for the exams. Naruto said as he took the lead, with Sakura following after giving a concerned glance at Sasuke, who followed the last. They reached the room only to see Kakashi-sensei against the wall with his head buried in his book. It says a word that we all know, and I'm not going to say it because I'm just not going to say it. But you know what I'm talking about. You know the word. You know the word. I know you know the word. I know you know the word. It starts with a P. Starts with a P. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. But, yeah. Kakashi looked at them and closed the book, putting his hands on his pockets. He gave them a critical look. Sakura decided to come as well, I see. Naruto frowned at that statement. What do you mean by that? His voice held a hard edge now, warning Kakashi that he better not play with the answers right now. Kakashi, for his part, didn't take offense at Naruto's tone at all. Instead, he mentally approved of how Naruto spoke. It was clear that he was in the zone. The zone. The zone. Ready to tackle the challenge, he had taken on a mindset of seriousness shinobi now. Mentally prepared for the challenge to come, he was also surprised at the lack of uncertainty in Sakura, which he had seen on the day he'd given out the tuning form. Something had happened between then, but whatever it was, he was glad for it. A mild feeling of disappointment went through him when he saw Sasuke's state. There was slight bruises on his face, and he looked like someone had trampled on his ego. He mentally shook his head. Sasuke was too impulsive when it came to his pride and ego. He could never take any defeat in stride. For all his skill, Sasuke's mix of having both a superiority and inferiority complex made him, in Kakashi's words, a sore loser. He shook those thoughts off and focused on answering Naruto. You are now officially registered to take the exams. To tell you the truth, the Chunin exams can only be taken in teams of 3. So you lied that it was up to us whether we wanted to take part in it or not, Naruto stated. Eyes never wing. Kakashi nodded seriously. I did. I feared that if I hadn't, you two would have forced Sakura to take the exams with you. And if only they both had come here and not you, Sakura, I would have turned them away. He smiled, but I'm glad that you 3 came of your own free will and as a team. Sakura, unnoticed by Kakashi, gave a small glance to Naruto and smiled. It's all thanks to you, Naruto. You washed away my uncertainty. Oh, come on, man. I'm trying to finish the episode, man. Come on, man. Kakashi moved out of the way. Go in then. Do your best. They opened the door and were surprised to see the number of Genin taking the tuning exams. And all of them were looking at them. Naruto put on his game face, which was a neutral scowl, and he was internally scoffing at the pathetic amount of killer intent coming their way. He looked back to see if Sasuke was unaffected, Sakura too, if not for the slight bead of sweat on the side of her face. He turned back, absently wondering if he would see any of his peers. Alright, bro. That's where I'm going to end this part off. So that was part 13 of Minato. It was like Minato. I'm not doing any secret words. They're starting to get a lot of comments, so I'm having a hard time just trying to keep up with them. But I'm doing my best. I promise you, I'm trying my hardest. No, it's really not the first comments. I'm not having a hard time with the comments. It's the replies, bro. Sometimes I lose some of the replies. So if I do lose your reply, just send me another message. And I'll try to get around to it. Sorry, I fucking hiccuped. Jesus. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I'm not gonna do a thing like a secret word at the end because I don't know. But yeah, so hopefully I should record another couple parts to this. And with that being said, this is your boy the Anime Owl here, and I'm out. Deuces.